You gotta do it alone. You gotta do it broke. You gotta do it scared. You gotta do it when you don't know what's going to happen. You gotta do it when you don't feel like it. You gotta do it even when you're nervous. You gotta do it even when you don't have the answers, because you'll figure it out as you go. You know, that's the secret to manhood. That's the secret to life. No matter who you are, you'll figure it out as you go through this life.
And so no one will ever know how hard you worked, and no one will ever care. And so you have to create another game or another story that allows you to succeed even when no one else cares, which is why you have to be the one who cheers for you when no one else is watching. Just know that no one will understand, and that's okay, because you know, and you're the only person whose respect you need to earn. And you're also the hardest person's respect to earn, because you know when you're bullshitting you.
Nobody has the confidence in the decisions that you're making for yourself like you do. So if you're waiting for that to connect in the beginning stages, it may or may not. If it doesn't, it shouldn't prevent you from following through on whatever the line of go is for you. The money is never coming fast.
Disappearing means doing the work. It means doing the work in the dark. It means building in private what you don't need to prove in public. It means doing the work when no one's watching. You stop worrying about what people think and start valuing what you believe. Because a life that looks good or sounds good is nothing compared to a life that feels good.
Winners define themselves by what they made happen, and losers define themselves by what happened to them. And the difficult part of the lonely chapter is that the Rocky cutscene lasts 90 seconds in the movie and lasts 5 years in reality.
With no promise of it ever ending. No guarantee of glory.
I realize you go higher, you go even more alone. Why? Because nobody is willing anymore to invest their energy in going higher. Because it's becoming more difficult. They say, oh, it's already okay here. Why you still want to move up there? The air is getting thinner over there. It's getting more hard to breathe. It's getting more dangerous, whatever. So that means along this way, the higher you want to go, the more likely you're gonna walk alone. This is the next thing. In one sentence, I always remember again, along the way to mastery, you walk the way alone.
I would take about 15 minutes and figure out what the hell you want to do with your life, and I would start getting after it. So that's my advice. Take 15 minutes, figure out something that you're into, and go crush that thing and make it happen.
Why would you not go for it? Why would you not take a chance? You know, Tone Bell was out here. He said at one point in time, you got to take a chance on you. But see, let me help you understand something, in case you ain't thought about that. When you take a chance on you, I want you to remember something, that all of us were created in God's image. So when you take a chance on you, you're taking a chance on God.
Nobody cares about you more than you should care about yourself. And nobody is giving you the roadmap to the wins. You have to go find that information. You gotta go discover it. You gotta wanna get it. You gotta wanna do it.
Struggle doesn't mean you're on the wrong path. It usually means you're on a real one, right? Struggle doesn't mean you're making a mistake. Struggle could mean that you have a lot to learn to get to this goal. If you have something you really value, don't change what you value, change the path to get there. Pain isn't proof of misalignment. It's proof you're growing. It's proof it matters. And ultimately, it reveals to you whether it matters enough. Kobe Bryant practiced at 4 a.m. when no one was watching. Warren Buffett sat in a quiet room in Omaha reading. 80% of his day was spent studying financial statements, reports, and books. They trained while no one was watching. They built without broadcasting. They worked in silence so they could rise without noise. So, whilst everyone is putting pressure on visibility, feel comfortable becoming invisible.
He goes, I will have to limp the last mile, even if no one's watching, because I can't let the demons in. And if I let the demons in, they'll show up in the 11th round of a championship fight when there's 50,000 people watching me in the audience. And I know deep in my self-story that I'm the type of person that quits when things get hard.
You want to reach a lot of people, I think you do it alone. It's ultimately gonna somehow end up like this, because nobody can understand you yet. Nobody can follow up on the path that you have walked in order to make you being able to stand there and speak out. If they would have, they would stand right next to you.
All that fear that's in your head, all the what ifs and the scenarios that you create inside your own mind that are way worse than anything that is actually going to happen, they all disappear when you go. So just take action and start moving forward. That is the moment that can last 1,000,000 years, is waiting to go.
You can't transfer your sacrifice into someone else's success. You can't transfer your discipline into someone else's desire. You can't transfer your work into someone else's worth. It doesn't work that way. They have to have the discipline. They have to do the work. They have to make the sacrifice. You can be there by their side, but you can't do it for them.
Before you win, everyone will ask you why you're working so hard. And after you win, everyone will ask you why you're working so hard. If that doesn't just go to show that most people are not worth listening to.
You can be anything you want to be. Remember, the saddest thing in life is wasted talent. You could have all the talent in the world, but if you don't do the right thing, then nothing happens. But when you do right, guess what? Good things happen.
To achieve true greatness, you must be mad. Madness and greatness are inextricably connected. You can't separate them. To get true greatness, there has to be some demons. There has to be a mad struggle in your mind, and you have to want it so badly. You have to want that result so badly that you are willing to put in more time, more effort, more focus, more hours.
We don't rise to the standards we have when others are watching. We fall to the standards we have when no one is watching. The only work that really matters is the work that no one sees. It shows you who you really are rather than who you say you are.
Is know that when no one's watching, I work harder than when they're watching. And thinking about it like that has given me this persistent and ever-present scorecard or third party that's like, no one's watching, which means now you have to work, because otherwise you're full of shit.
The answers you are looking for is in the silence you're avoiding.
Yeah.
I fucking love that. The answers you're looking for is in the silence you're avoiding. You need fewer inputs, not more.
I'd agree with that. Yeah, that's really it's interesting, that thing of like, because it's two British guys, so we feel like we should apologize for saying anything deep.
Because I know every motherfucker ain't gonna do what I'm gonna do. So this is how you level up. That's how you level up. I know there's a whole bunch of people with that right there. That fires me up. That makes me happy what you just said. That brings joy to my life right there.
Why?
Because I know there's so many people that have the ability and just refuse to get off that couch. Refuse to study a few more hours. Refuse to go deeper, to go further. And that's where I gain the advantage. It's so easy to be great nowadays, my friend, because most people are weak.
So you can't escape yourself. You can't escape your dark sides. You can't escape your pain and your suffering and everything that in a way is triggering you also. And this is where I feel like to have this, let's say, concept at the moment, to really invest time in bringing out, understanding yourself better, and then build yourself up in all layers.
Are you sure that's what you want to do? Yes, sir. Another long pause. Then I hear, well, don't half-ass it. And I remember just beaming, hopping up. It's like, ah! Yes! Launchpad, man. My dad not only said okay, in the way he said don't half-ass it was also, okay, let's go, big boy. Own that shit. Get some leverage, get some horsepower behind where you're going. Go do it.
Self-esteem is earned. It's only earned by you with yourself. You're not going to get self-esteem because everybody praises you. Someone can tell you your whole life that you're brilliant, you're a genius, you're beautiful, you're handsome, and you not believe it. Someone can tell you you're a piece of crap and you're never going to become anything. And there's a part you can say, I'll show you, as many people have, and then they develop drive out of it, right? So it's really, self-esteem comes from doing incredibly difficult things where you know you pushed yourself. It's not virtue signaling. It's not telling people about it. It's what you know inside your soul is true.
Say this to yourself every day. See, as long as you're breathing, you got a shot at your dream. That's the way I resolve. Say this, please. It's not over until I win. You got that right. Not over till I win. Not over till I get through. It's not over till I get over. Not over till I get what I want. Door can't open today, look out. I'm going to come back and take the hinges off. That's how you got to do that.
If your life was a movie, and people were watching up to this point, what would the audience be screaming at the screen, telling you to do with your life? What would they be just, it's fucking obvious. Leave the job. Leave the, get like, it's your brother. It's the fucking killer's hiding in the cupboard, whatever it might be. What would the audience watching the movie of your life be screaming at the screen, telling you to do?
I know that I'm already, DNF'd. So no matter what happens here, I'm not going to be an official finisher of this race.
This isn't for glory.
No. This is now for the fact that you can. So either you can sit here and not and think about that for a whole year until you come back here and do this, or you can go out there for yourself and take some kind of pride in knowing that you could and you did.
Don't do something you don't want to do. Why are you wasting your time? There's so little time on this earth. Life goes fast. What is it, 4,000 weeks? That's your lifespan. And yes, we hear that, but we don't remember it.
I talk to no one from that time in my life compared to today. And I was absolutely miserable and unhappy and unfulfilled. I think coming to terms with the idea that I could be absolutely rejected by everyone I know, but like me, I was more okay with that because the alternative was I didn't want to live anymore. And so obviously there's degrees and there's continuums and there's stages of where people are at with that. But as that being the taken to its logical extreme, would I rather live for them than live for me? I would rather be hated by everyone and like myself.
Well, man, because I think the greatest fear that we face is ourselves, actually. I think it's not anything that's external or anything that's superficial. I think the greatest fear you face is yourself, because we all have dreams, and it's very scary sometimes to accept the dream that you have, and it's scarier still to say, okay, I want that. It's scary because you're afraid that if you put your heart and soul into it and you fail, then how are you going to feel about yourself, right? So being fearless means putting yourself out there and going for it, no matter what. Go for it, not for anybody else, but for yourself.
Nobody cares about you more than you should care about yourself. And nobody is giving you the roadmap to the wins. You have to go find that information. You gotta go discover it. You gotta want to get it. You gotta want to do it. And with the right help, the right word of knowledge, it can better help position you, but ultimately you gotta want to do it. Nobody believed that I was funny when I said I was going to be a comedian. They were like, you funny, but not comedian funny. Nobody has the confidence in the decisions that you're making for yourself like you do. So if you're waiting for that to connect in the beginning stages, it may or may not. If it doesn't, it shouldn't prevent you from following through on whatever the line of go is for you.
We always think that we gotta have it all figured out. We think that we have to know the game plan before we could take a move. Life ain't like that. Life is more spontaneous than that. Life is built on curiosity. Life is built when you move towards your goals and dreams and you don't know what's going to happen, but you have enough faith to keep going. You have enough faith to make it work. That's what life is built on.
But also, how do you become comfortable with being okay with people not understanding. That's the trick. Like, I hate to say it bluntly.
Yeah.
I used to have such a high level of give a fuck attached to how you felt about my decisions that were best for me. So the day that I became comfortable with going, I don't really give a fuck if like they understand or not. Like, I'm done. I know, but they feel it's really important. You got to do it today. I'll talk to them tomorrow. Nothing's going to happen. Nothing's going to change from this time to that time. You have to get to a point to where you actually get that and are okay with that.
Life isn't fair at all. At all. So what are you gonna do about it? I knew that no one was coming back to help me. No one was gonna miracle me to be somebody special. Everybody that called me nigger, my dad, my mom, all my situations were on me now, and solely on me. So I had to start developing an indestructible mental toolbox. So I sat there on that couch and I realized, man, I am a piece of shit. And even though the world helped me get here, my false reality helped me even more. And listening to somebody else's dialogue.
People only root for people who don't need it. That's when you want people to root for you. That's when you want people to support you. Once you've already won, people are like, he's amazing, he's so good. But like, that's the time when you need it the least. And so you always have to be the person who roots for you before everyone else does. And it's usually a single clap in the auditorium for a very long period of time. It is a slow clap that's just you rooting for you. And the path of the exceptional person is one of an exception, which means that you are not with other people.
I know what darkness looks like. I know what it feels like to be alone with no motivation, no drive, no passion. And what has to come out of your fucking soul in the darkest of times is what you just did right there.
At some point, everything's gonna go south on you. Everything's gonna go south, and you're gonna say, this is it. This is how I end. Now, you can either accept that, or you can get to work. That's all it is. You just begin. You do the math, you solve one problem, then you solve the next one, and then the next. And if you solve enough problems, you get to come home.
Things go wrong, they always seem to happen at once, and they just compound on top of each other. And it's pretty easy sometimes to feel beaten. That doesn't mean give up. In fact, it means the opposite. It means it's time for you to fight harder, to dig in.
It's hard to throw, catch, block, and tackle, and hit kids when they're way bigger and way more developed than you, only to go home that night bruised and battered and strained, but knowing you have to show up again the next day for just the chance to try again.
But for the most part, you're gonna run into challenges in life, and if you curl up into a ball and complain about it, that's not gonna help you. And if you say, okay, cool, good, here's some adjustments I can make to move forward, that's gonna be a better move than cowering.
If you want the life but not the lifestyle, you guarantee disappointment. Like if you're going to pursue this outcome, but you're not prepared to do what it takes to get it. Okay, you want to be a touring musician. Sounds fantastic. You need to spend probably between 5 and 10 years just learning the instrument. This is before you get to perform. You don't really get to perform on stage for that long.
Yeah.
And then when you start doing that, the first are maybe going to be in someone's borrowed van, in the back of a van. You're not going to have enough money for hotels. You're going to be playing to 100 people. No one's going to care about you. You're not going to have any money. You're not going to know if it's going to work. You have no promise of glory on the other side. You're going to be racked with self-doubt, constantly uncertain.
It's hard when you're young to wake up in the off season at 6 a.m. to go train and work out, knowing that all your friends are sleeping in and eating pancakes. It's hard when you're on your way to practice, weighed down with all your gear, and it's 90 degrees out and all the other kids are at the pool or at the beach, and your body is already completely exhausted from workouts in 2-a-days.
I would way rather teach someone who didn't know anything than teach someone who learned things wrong. Because someone who learned things wrong, it's very difficult to correct their technique. They have a mode in their mind they shift to when they're panicky or when they're being pressured. They always go back to the bad technique, always. It's very hard to get someone to learn technique correctly when they know it incorrectly. You got to re-teach them everything.
Yeah, stubbornness is and consistency, stubbornness or consistency is a hell of a performance enhancer. It's the one way, and you've spoken about this too, how are you presuming that you're going to be able to beat somebody who does one thing if you're doing two things? At the very least, you need to be twice as good in order to be able to keep up just with where they're at.
In my life, I'm realizing, oh wait, the structure and the discipline makes me feel better. It fills me with more confidence and ability to go do other things rather than taking away.
Regardless of whether it's in service of becoming Mr. Olympia.
Yeah, and I mean, I know those things, but like you said, it was all of a sudden it was like, oh well, I'll just cut one meal out because like I'm busy now. Oh well, my shoulder's injured, so I'm gonna do my rehab, but like I don't really want to.
If you pan it down here, you see it's about 3 o'clock in the morning and there's not a car or a person in sight. If you pan over here, it's the same thing. Not a car or a person in sight. There's not a motherfucker that's up. There's not a car, there's not a person. Everybody's in their bed, sleep, dreading that it's a Monday, hate it's a Monday. And I'm loving it. I'm loving that. Where everybody's getting weaker, I'm getting stronger. It's not about the running, the swimming, the push-ups, the sit-ups. It's about what those things do for your mentality. You don't get better on the daggone couch. You get better by coming out here and getting the fuck after it every daggone day.
I was like, my roommate could tell you, I was grinding my ass off, like, when nobody was like able to see it. I was there like just grinding my ass off.
On YouTube.
On YouTube only, like, and people would, like, I don't know, like, it was so weird because like I did not give a fuck what anybody thought. Like, college people would look at me weird and shit, and I just did not give a fuck. I just not give a fuck. The grind is really what's gonna be hard though, because everybody get comfortable, everybody be doing this, everybody be doing that. And the way I be thinking is that if I'm taking any breaks, there's somebody out there right now that's literally grinding his ass off and is gonna blow up anytime now. And he or she is dead ass like working her or his ass off. And I always think like,
I just made the decision I was going to be a YouTuber. I was going to die trying. Sounds different hearing me say it now, but I had that type of like devotion when I was younger. Like even when people would tell me it was crazy, no odds in my favor, with no equipment, no nothing, no social skills, no editing, no camera, no one to teach me, no one to help me. I was just like, I don't care. I'm going to figure it out or I'm going to die trying.
If you're going to do it, do it. Say what you can do. Do what you say. If you can't do it, don't say you can do it. Don't over-leverage yourself. Don't over-leverage a decision and then jump in and kind of dip a toe. I think I'll try it out. No, think if you're going to try it out beforehand, but when it's time to go, dive. Finish it. Find out. Come out the other side.
But if you don't, another one, if you don't lie awake at night thinking about it, you don't want it badly enough.
Yeah, I think I've heard you talk before about how sort of unclosed loops, problems that you're working on can cause you to be sleepless.
To achieve true greatness, you must be mad. Madness and greatness are inextricably connected. You can't separate them. To get true greatness, there has to be some demons. There has to be a mad struggle in your mind, and you have to want it so badly. You have to want that result so badly that you are willing to put in more time, more effort, more focus, more hours, and just you don't get to smell the roses, man.
This is your limitation. You have not went beyond that yet. And so on the one side, this is motivating to me, but on the other side, it also just cultivates this constant drive, this constant fire. And why do I think fire is as important as water is? Just to say it right away. But it is that fire that nourishes us to do things. Fire is the active part about us. There's so much available about all these things. Well, then certainly laziness is not in there.
What I realized on my journey was a lot of us don't believe that we can achieve the impossible. You can fucking achieve the absolute impossible. You don't need great parents. You don't need like a private school. You don't need to have this humongous GPA and all this other shit. What you need is the one thing I talked about in my book, which is straight up brutal work ethic. But if you are able to get up every morning
have no passion, no drive, no motivation, no shit, and still get up with that kind of fire, you will be successful in life. I guarantee you that. I have a resume full of fucking motivation. That whenever I'm down, I'm like, oh, hang on, motherfucker. Oh, you know the truth. You know the truth. You know the darkness of the fucking dungeons and the fucking demons that fly. You know, and then from there, it's like, okay, you were there. You know this. There was no one there to pick up the rucksack, to pick up the boat, to pick up the log, to go in there. It was you. It was you. There was no pat in the fucking back at 300, at 275, at 250, at 220. No, that was you. So those things that come out of me, that extract from me in the darkness, people are looking for that pat on the back. Where is it? Oh, I don't need it. Because what I've done is in the fucking unseen work, I built Frankenstein. So whenever shit gets nasty, David Goggins goes, you had nobody anyway, motherfucker.
I did have a real belief, whether I was tricking myself or not, that there's a bigger pot of gold for me on the other side of this if I just out-endure it. I'll out-endure this so much. And it became a little like the year in Australia. I started to gain pride and honor with the longer the penance went on of being without what I wanted. And I started to be like, well, I'm definitely ain't backing out now, man. I'm 6 months in.
Turns into momentum.
All in a year later, I'm like, I'm a year in, man. This is getting good. Okay, come on.
So yeah, all of the chips on your shoulder and the bitterness and resentment that you've got, you just use it. The need for validation, the want to prove yourself. I got to get the goal. I got to do the riches. I need to, fine. But I don't think that that's a bad thing. And I think it's largely a luxury belief of people who have big platforms that can say this is the thing that you should do from the very start, because it's not how they got there.
I think that a lot of the personal excellence comes down to making the but I'll know more important than the what will everyone else think. Is if everyone else in the room says it's exceptional, and then you say, but I'll know it's not, because I don't think it's exceptional yet. If you still break what everyone else believes is beautiful so that you can make the thing that you make it the way you want it to make, or make it the way you want it to be, I think that is probably like the truest test of whether or not you really do value your own opinion over those of other people's. The things that you'd know, and then you'd be the type of person who always phones it in, and that to me is disgusting.
Do everything that you feel, even if you are told that it's the wrong thing. No, but not anything violent.
So do what you feel, say what you feel, like trust your heart.
Yeah, trust your gut. Trust your instincts, because that instinct is who God made you to be. Something is trying to say, be the maximum yay. Be the maximum you. And God won't give you anything that you can't handle.
Most of the gains in life come from suffering in the short term so you can get paid in the long term. I think
that's classic.
Winning the marshmallow test on a daily basis.
For me personally, there's no lack of urgency when I wake up in the morning to think, oh, don't worry, I got all the time in the world, because I know I don't. And I'm lucky to be here, and I'm going to try and live in a way that will at least do justice for my friends that aren't here.
Even if I don't like myself right now, and even if I feel insufficient and not enough right now, if I can project that where I will be in future is going to be better, doesn't matter that I think I might be a little bit of a piece of shit in the moment, because tomorrow will be okay. Like, I don't love myself today, but I might love myself tomorrow because I'm moving in the direction of better.
Why do I have this insight into in the martial art or into anything? Because I spent more than the average person in staying with practice. So when other people go out and meet friends and make party, I stay with myself and do my breathing exercise. Just like this. And so ultimately, when it also comes to like personal development, there is that the main work must be done for you by yourself.
If you wake up and every day you obsess over something and you live and breathe it, and that's what you think about, that's what you do, that's what you study on and off, that's what you stay up every night grinding, and no one else even gives a flying about it, it's like, you just feel like a weirdo, like an outcast. And I was also like just dumb. Back then I didn't realize, I just need to find different people. I thought like, my whole life. I'll just never enjoy talking to people.
The biggest mistake from the past that we keep making is looking at the past.
Too much. Giving too much value to the past.
Too much value to the past. We are now. We are now. We are here. We are one species. We are one race. We're here. And it's time. And the leadership is changing because you have Elon as a leader, Ye as a leader, and we're the top leaders. We're more influential than the presidents.